This time at Roadworthy Rescues, we bought an awesome Thunderbird. Terrible shape, so I did the right thing about a Mercer travel all to pull it home with. 800 miles. Should be fine. This is a terrible idea, actually. Guys back in Texas, Fort Worth to be exact, got a line on a bunch of cars that have been sitting for decades on this property, and there's supposedly a T-Bird right in this garage to start it off. So let's open up this thing, check this car out. We can walk around, maybe check some others out as well. See if we can get one of these on the road and back to Tennessee. All right. Ice cream, lots of it. Okay, there's supposed to be a 60s T-Bird in here, parked in the 90s. And there is, in fact, black or green. It's kind of black, colorish looking. No tag on the plate. Well, let's walk around this, see what we got. Well, looking at all the prints here, we got some positive raccoonage, and also I'd say small dog and 2 to 3 cats. They've certainly left some patina. Smells terrible already. Let's see what we got for an engine in this thing. We got 4 flats, confirmed. Hubcaps are gone. I don't know where those went. Lots of sawdust. I think this garage is fixing to come down. Oh, why is it so moist on the hood? Yeah, there it is. Still got the stickers on the valve covers. Fully complete. Oh, the firewall's cool. It's got the original hand marker crayon thing. AC is still in it. All the belts are still on it. Missing a battery, of course. But we've got completage minus the air filtration system, but I'm not too worried about that. Let's check out the inside. See how bad that is, or if it's sat well in this garage. I think I said late 90s, but maybe we could find a sticker or something to try to validate that as well. I'm just gonna open this door because it's right here. Oh, nice maroon interior. Oh, wow. Wow, this, oh. It smells like a bear cave full of adult diapers. It's really sour. So moist, my eyes are watering. Looks like it's in neutral, so it's probably pushed in here. That's a good sign. No, probably didn't run. Windshield's cracked up. 8-track. I don't even know how to run any of this stuff. It looks like most of the stuff is in here, though. Had all the bells. I can't breathe. That's enough. That's enough for me. Evacuate. Get out of here. So unfortunately, we've got no keyage. Ignition sticks are gone. Oh, here we go. 96. Math. Carry the 7. 28 years it's been sitting in here. So here's the deal. We're gonna leave with 2 things. A title to this car and pink eye. Yeah, we made a deal on this rig, but it's not in an ideal space to work on this thing. Plus, no, it's terrible in there. So let's go walk this property. I heard there's some trucks and vans and things. got an idea. What if we get something else running and then try to pull this home to Tennessee? It's only like 1,200 miles or something. It'd be fine. Let's go see what we could find. The Thunder Turd. Oh yeah, I see some stuff back here. Well, this thing's sweet. Little short box, big back window. Really cool, but too short of a wheelbase. Long wheelbases are ideal for towing. This thing's cool too. Not gonna work. Still love it. Ooh, we got a van. Got Vantage. Half-ton Chevrolet Vantage. Backup lights, those lights. It's got a hitch. Oh, very homemade-ish though. I'm gonna say that's probably not gonna work for us. Pretty sweet van though. Ooh, international. Over here. International travel haul. Sweet. I'm not much of an expert on the travel hauls. I'm more of a scout guy. Well, they're virtually the same thing. This has the 1,000 badge, so it's got to be a 69 or 70. In 71, they changed that. So it's just a half-ton little guy. These were made from, I think, 53 to 75. And in 74, the Chevrolet Suburban came out with the 4-door and, well, better options, better pricing, more horsepower, better fuel economy. And the oil crisis hit at the same time. International said goodbye to the travel haul. They hung on to the Scout until 1980, and then that too went away. But these were kind of the first to come out with the 4-door and the large SUV kind of flavor. They're really sweet looking rigs, actually. Let's just jump right in, see if this is a candidate. Should we start in the rear, see if it's got a hitch even? Yeah, good idea. Oh, yes. We got something. Oh, it's got a big receiver hitch on it to the frame. That's already stuck in there and frozen in. It's probably pretty good. We should probably dig through this thing and see if there's even an engine and transmission. These came with 5 different engines, a mix of AMCs and Internationals, and 5 transmissions. There's a lot going on. Let's take a look. How do we get in it? Open. Go. Start. Okay, let's try the side door. I don't know how to run that. Oh, wow, these open way up. Oh, ceiling curtains. That's nice. 17 different fans. I'm gonna say the air conditioning doesn't work. Welding mask, needed one of those. Oh, new in the box Jeff Gordon fan pack. 3 of them. I'll take no less than 100 each. I know what I got. Look, what I'm saying is I don't see engine heads or water pumps or a transmission laying back here. So far, we're off to a good start. Let's check the front seats out. Gotta be careful. Some of these Internationals had asbestos in them, you know. You want to breathe that in. Nope. 84,000 miles, it says, stuck at 50. I like it. Another lawnmower accessory, Toro, of course, full of mouse-eating plastic bags. Got some home decorations. Oh, wow. Ooh, bank bag. Maybe we could pay this thing off. No. Okay, the interior is perfect. I see nothing wrong here whatsoever. Let's get under the hood. Okay. Well, we got an engine in here. We got a 2-barrel Holly, which means it's not the 345 or the 392, unfortunately. That's probably going to be the little 304. So we got 78 horsepower here. That's pretty good for towing. But it'll probably, maybe, could possibly work, okay? We got all the hoses and doodads in it. We got whatnots, points. There was a bird that died in there, apparently. 58 million feathers, literally. But the hoses and cables and stuff, pretty good shape. The transmission's in there still. It's an Automagical. It's severely low on oil. It's fine, well taken care of, okay. So I think this is our candidate. 1970, we'll call it, international travel none. Right now, it will be a travel all. Hear me out, just like we did in the Chevrolet and the tractor, can we get this running and pull the Thunder Turd back to Tennessee? We'll just go to a certain rental place and say, I've got a 2024 Silverado and I'm pulling a Kia, and they'll say, yeah, and then we'll just put it on this. See what I'm saying? So let me get a battery, some tools, accoutrement, see if we get this fired up and moving, and then we'll figure out the rest. Okay, plan. All right, battery installed. We're gonna see if this thing cranks over first and foremost. Guy can't fit his arms down in there, so we're just gonna hit her with the battery. See what happens. We gotta work on fuel. We have to work on sparkles. This has 2 fuel tanks. One in the, it's like a saddle tank in the front fender, and one that's supposed to be in the rear, which is a little pocket tank. One of them ought to work. I don't know which. We'll figure it out. Okay, train. We get it. You're driving. I didn't even look if there's a key for this. Ha-ha! It's barely turning over. Oh, there we go. Let's see if it builds any oil pressure. Ooh, that starter sounds terrible. Again. Oh, no! Okay, I'm just gonna leave that be, because we're about 17 cranks away from putting a starter in this, which is not fun. But the engine rotates, kind of, so that's good news, and we now have a Super Tool 300 ignition key. All right, progress. Who would have knew that gas eats soy sauce lids? True fuel, and I just happened to figure out works perfectly in this little soy sauce container. We'll fill the bowl up, crank on this thing, see if it'll fire. Make sure it's not knocking on heaven's door, and then we can continue on. Come on, bring in the thunder. No. No sparkles. The wire to the distributor is completely fried. Okay, I need this back. That is now our key. Perfect. Filing the points. Filing points. Doing it incorrectly. I'm not an expert, but I'm gonna say it has something to do with this melted wire. So let's go ahead and replace that. Okay, we've got spark. Perfect. All right, let's crank her again. It's running. Yes! Sounds terrible, perfect. Antifreeze leak. Valve train is not happy, but it is very low in oil. That's probably all we want to run it before we change on the Earls. But it's running. I can't see nothing. I guess we can just trust the transmission works. This is the Lone Wolf 6000. You know, since I work alone. Can't be in the rig and running everything out here, so you got chow. By the way, I'm down to 12 starts left, so Caribbean, Hawaii, Mexico. Places I should be. That's that move. Okay, here's the plan, don't have one. Here's the next step though. I'm gonna jack this up, take this tire off, look at the fuel selector switch, which should be in the fender well, and subsequently also the digital pump that I can hear running. Figure out how to get fuel from this big tank to the fuel make it happener. And hope the tank is good. So like I thought, there's an electric fuel pump. Here's the problem. The filler neck is rotted. There's gonna be no way to put fuel in this. Well, if a guy could just find some hose like this down here at the Hardmore store, I could sleeve it, is what I'm thinking. Can a guy just run hose inside of this hose into the fuel tank, leave that hose hanging out here, then all I gotta do is plug my gas can into it. I think that's what we're gonna do. I feel like I do hear some going in. It's fine. Nobody smoke. So I'm trying to get this electric fuel pump running again. And then we're gonna see if it actually pumps fuel from the tank that we just professionally re-sleeved. There we go. Varnished fuel from the 90s. Now it's cleaning up. There's our clear fuel. Oh yeah, I think we're good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put a new fuel tray on, and then we should be able to click that pump back on, see what it's doing inside the filter. We'll put a clear one in so we can monitor the amount of impurities. There we go. Looks pretty good. You can hear the bowl filling in the carb. We'll adjust that needle and seat. We'll find out in a second if it's gonna blow through it. Yep. Well, I do believe a guy has a stock float in here. It's been sitting for almost 30 years and probably varnished in a position. So when the fuel's coming in, that's not rising to make that, needle seat into the needle seat and seats. So I'm gonna go ahead and just toss what I can out of this kit into here, just a quick dirty rebuild, and then throw this back on the truck, and hopefully she'll pop right off and won't flood anymore. We should go ahead and check the blood stick on the shift machine, because if that's bone dry, we probably should go ahead and change the oil quick. Then we're gonna fire this thing up and we're gonna let it run for quite some time. We gotta make sure the head gaskets are working, the other gaskets are doing gasket things, bring some heat back into this thing slowly but surely, and then we can see if it actually shifts. Guys down here in Texas, I bought a Thunder Turd over in the garage there. It's in terrible shape currently. Decided to go ahead and try to tow her home, so picked up this travel Yall. We're gonna see if we can get this thing fired up and idling here. Gotta check the transmission ATF. We got fresh oil in it. We did some ignition wiring. Did a fender rebuild on the fuel making happener. It should fire up and idle, well, in theory. So let's see what happens here. Might have to prime it here. There we go. See if that valve tray noise goes away with some fresh oil. Put 2050 in it, a little thicker elixir. It's quieting down a little. I think this is officially the longest it's ran in 28 years. It's pretty awesome. Just in the idle, and fix the vacuum leak on it. And I'll get to the air fuel mixture screws in a second, which are back here. So I think the guy has some fuel delivery issues. This pump seems to be getting real weak. So I'm gonna make sure we're not pulling up any big chunks. I got that tore out, obviously. Gonna throw this hose on here and just use the old wind bag, see if we can get fuel free flowing. And if we can, then we know the tank side's okay. I've decided to go ahead and put a, mechanical pump, which is what was in it, and see if this will suckalize on the fuel. And it's one less switch to arc out and burn the rig down anyway. Well, now we're gonna give her the old mechanical fuel pump a try. Check our filter down here. Yep, it is pulling fuel. We're back to where we were at 9:45 a.m. Yes! We should test the transmission before we call it a night. Wow, this thing is a smoker. Why do all our cars, the radio works when you touch weird stuff? Drive! Yes! Oh man, we got a runner. Yep. Well, hey, the truck is running-ish. It's getting better. The smoking has calmed down a little bit. And it's moved about a foot. A foot of 800 miles we've still got to travel. And remember, we're not just traveling in this. We've got to figure out if we could pull that thunder turd stuck in that garage. We're going to try to deal with that tomorrow, but first we still have to address brakes and tires and wheels and everything on this. Gonna let this run for just 20-30 minutes tonight, pack up, and then Texas things like steaks, wet the back neck, stuff like that. See you in the morning. Hey, it's day 2 down in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. A guy bought a 68 Thunder Turd. It's stuck away in a shed over there. It's in terrible condition, which is perfect. But I decided to try to pull the thing home and work on it properly in my shop back in Tennessee. So we acquired the travel Yall. We got it running yesterday. We did a bunch of work to it. It moved a foot. So we started this morning off by putting new glass in it. That makes sense. Now, today is brakes. Since we're going to be pulling a car that weighs 11 million metric tons, it's got to stop goodlier, kind of-ish, you know what I mean? So I'm going to start with the master cylinder, snap a couple lines off, start replacing those, work my way to the wheel cylinders that are bad, bend the drums off that we can't find, they're irreplaceable, and then go from there. All right, let's dig in. Over on here with the cylinder of masters. Guy hit it with my earth pounder. It's not really doing anything. I'm assuming the seals on the piston that racks back and forth in here is just completely gone after sitting for however many million years this has been sitting. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this master cylinder off. We're gonna bleed another one, hook up the lines. This is all in theory and hopeful. And then we'll try to gravity bleed this and see if the wheel cylinders are still gonna work. Chances are they're just full of powder and are gonna go puh, and then we'll be digging into those. Truthfully, this is going to be a delicate procedure because you cannot find these drums. You cannot find them. So getting them off is going to be delicate, getting them on, all of this. If they're bad, we're going to have to pretend they're good. But by the end of today, we need to have brakes in this thing because we have a long drive back, 800 miles towing in this vehicle. This show should just be called Driving Cars Without Brakes. I've determined the brakes are bad all over the place. The brake line, rubber brake lines in the front were just so old, they were just pinched closed. Think of it like a garden hose, and if you were to step on it, the fluid might be able to barely get through, but it's not going to come back. So we needed to replace the lines. Unfortunately, we're learning that International had zero consistency or quality control on virtually anything except the window cranks, and the brake parts all over the place. In this particular vehicle, the fitting on the lines do not match the replacement rubber hoses. So now I need to make my own little line with an adapter to go to the new line, to go to the smaller adapter, to go to a barrel connector, to go to the fitting on the truck, to go into the hose. Dr. Seuss brakes. We don't have a bench vise, so we're over here using our travel yawl. And we're just gonna make some fittings right here. This is my life, I just realized. There you go. Brakes by Beery. They'll barely work, but they'll slow you down. We were able to get juice out of this wheel cylinder. So now we just need to take 74 hours and do the other two. Well, let's do the front one first, and then I'm gonna decide if I'm even gonna attempt to do the rear. Hey, the brakes are done, or at least good enough. You know what I mean? So now I'm gonna start cleaning the inside out. I got tires on the way. They're in the route, but not here yet. So we can't do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all this stuff out of here. The feller we bought this from, well, he wants to keep some of this. I was looking forward to the shop vac and the igloo cooler, but he wants it. So we're gonna start getting some stuff out of here and transfer it over to his truck. Lampshades, big mouth bass. These are the ones that talk on your wall, you know. Batteries is dead. That's too bad. Should we look what's in here? Nada. This is a nice cooler. Must have been a mobile welding rig. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this fella liked lamps. I got updates. So it runs, it shifts. We cleaned out the interior. It's snazzy. I mean, they put seats in it and house carpet and spray painted everything. Baby blue, looks pretty good. We think the brakes might be good. Actually, I was just getting ready to go test that. And then I was letting it run here and the water pump went out. It's weeping out of the weep hole, which is a telltale sign you need to change this thing now. Also, I discovered a massive intake leak by spraying everything with brake clean, and sure enough, she's revving up on the drinker side of the engine over here. And that's why we got a weird idle and hesitation and down on power. So instead of test driving this and potentially leaving late tonight, early tomorrow morning after we dig out the Thunder Turd, we're tearing the truck all the way down. Sweet, let's get after it. So this thing that looks like a Lego is actually a water pump for internationals. The problem is we have a different style water pump. There's two. This one is a big threaded nut that holds the fan and the pulley assembly on, where this is an updated version. We need to convert this because it's very difficult to find the big threaded nut. Talked to an international expert and he mentioned a hammer and a big chisel, and then I thought, aha! What if we just hit it with the gas axe? Can't be tight if it's liquid. We're gonna cut this whole fan off because we actually have a different fan and fan clutch. Then I can get access to this water pump, take it off, take the pulleys apart, convert the pulleys to this water pump, and then reassemble everything. And by late tonight, hopefully we'll have the water pump done. Then I'm going to decide if I'm actually going to dig into this intake or if we're just gonna deal with it running on 6. Now I'm gonna get on every international blog and just be like, torch it off. You know how rare those are? It only needed everything. We found a 4-barrel intake for this particular engine that we think might fit in a 4-barrel carburetor. So this little feller's coming off, and we're gonna put the 4-barrel on because I have to take that off anyway to change the gaskets. We might as well spice this up a little bit. We're gonna want some HPs under us if we're gonna be pulling that Thunderbird back. Got the old intake off, which by the way weighs about 92.6 pounds at minimum. Here's the old intake gasket, and we can see right here corrosion from the top side. So that would be our intake leak that I found with a can of brake clean. So all of that work for this cheap little gasket. Sweet. But we're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it more gooder too by putting that fair barrel on there. Get some more HPs out of it. A valiant effort was given, but I'm gonna shut it down for tonight. We did get the 4-barrel intake on. We have interference issues with the fuel make it happen, unfortunately. Every time you rock the throttle, it lifts the carb. Gonna look at that tomorrow. It's gonna involve part stores and stuff like that. I also have a new fan over here that was supposed to work on our water pump. That's not working on our water pump. But there's good news. I have tires and wheels to show you in the morning, and we're still going to attempt to pull the Thunderbird out of that garage and pull it home, although we are very much behind, but it's only 800 miles. We'll be fine. See you in the morning. Back on the travel, y'all. Boy, I was thrashing on this late last night trying to get it running, but we are missing a few key pieces. We're still trying to get this Thunderbird out of a garage 100 yards from here, and I'm tied up in this thing. We have got to get it out today for a couple key reasons. One, the raccoon decaying in the corner over there is really starting to get in the wind bags, you know what I mean? Also, there's 2,000 popsicles being moved in refrigerators, and apparently they have a sit time of about 52 minutes. So I've got to get the fuel make it happen on, get the fan back on, the radiator in, all that stuff, get tires and wheels on this, hook a chain on that T-Bird and get it out of that garage ASAP, then 800 miles home. Hey. Smells like a riverboat porta potty. Stings the eyes. Please run better. We got a new fan clutch in here, which is the updated version instead of the giant screw-on clutch. Got the old Radulina Jolie here. See if we can get this in. We just gotta go at an angle, get around the hoses, and then you tilt this way. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. Not going to put the old fan shroud on because it's held together with 74 different types of wire. I think I saw a shoelace in there, part of a TV dinner. I really never want to see this truck again, but I have to drive in it for 3 days, hopefully just 2. No, it'll break down and be a week. Yeah. Gotta go back to basics. Spark, fuel, compression. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Don't worry, I said! I'll figure it out! Okay, sorry I got mad. Okay, I'll fire up the corn binder here. with its new get up. Yeah. There we go. Got to keep it running. Our battery's dead, and we need it to charge. Don't worry about that. The only thing this is going to pull is ex-wives. Oh, great. So now we can hear the engine's not doing this, wandering all over the place and idling weird. That was the bad intake gasket. Got that resolved. We'll let it sit here and idle because I got to charge up the battery. Whoops. And then I got to show you guys some really cool tires and wheels that are period correct, suit the truck well, hook onto a T-Bird, see how much power this thing has. So believe it or not, these used to be chrome. They sat so long it actually rotted holes right through the wheels themselves. So we were forced to get wheels as well. Like the white leather, of course you got to go with white leather, but these are more of a light duty tire. We went with a little bit more heavy duty KO2 All-Terrain by BFG, and then the old cheapo white steel wagon wheel. Can't beat these things. They look pretty good on most trucks, and it's period correct for this guy. So I'm gonna bolt these on quick, and then we can go for our first drive. So I'm gonna put this air cleaner on quick so we're not sucking insulation. Then I'm gonna jump in. We're gonna do some yard braking. We don't have power brakes yet. We'll fix that later, but I still should be able to romp on the brake pedal and bring this thing to a stop. Oh man, I think that's probably the best brakes we've ever had in Roadworthy. Oh yeah. Let's go get a Thunderbird. Hey look, we're finally working on the car we came to Texas to get, the 68 Thunderbird. Now worst case scenario, all four wheels would be locked up. So now we're gonna navigate it out of this broken concrete garage thing between 2,000 popsicles and crates and other obstacles, probably got 3 inches on each side somehow, and try to steer this thing whilst skidding. And then we haven't even talked about figuring out how to make it roll, get on a dolly, and travel back to Tennessee. But I did get a chain on it. We also got wind and 3.5 tires, old bias plies, thankfully, so they held a little bit of air. So we're gonna back the rig in here, give it a tug, and just play it play by play, I guess. Hey look, T-Bird's outside for the first time in almost 3 decades. We almost took a garage down and we melted 2,000 popsicles, but we got it. This thing did fine. Travel all update. Hey, we got this thing fired up after sitting for like 28 years or whatever it was. Drove it 100 yards, and then its first job again was to pull a car. I got a sticking throttle issue that's weird with the shifter. They're combined somehow. Also, I think we've developed another fuel leak on the fuel tank. So I'm gonna do the right thing, try to find like a boat tank or something, throw it in the back seat because we're just out of time. We gotta make some miles down. Now we're gonna switch our attention to the Thunderbird. I gotta get the tires unstuck, get it on a dolly, and then we're gonna hit the road. Hey, this is a drive shaft to a Ford Thunderbird. It's got 19 U-joints for some reason. Pulled this out so we could freewheel this thing. So when we're pulling it on the tow dolly, it's not spinning the transmission in neutral as well. So basically the only thing spinning is the rear axle, which has its own gear oil, obviously. So we're gonna mount some fresh tires on the old wheels so we don't blow one of them. I got some sort of fuel tank, rigged that into the travel all, and we're finally on the road. All of this just to get this T-Bird back to Tennessee. It's It's gonna be a fun project though. Keep going, keep going. Yep, keep going. Up, up. Okay, back. Well, it took some time, but we got her going. We had to put a fuel pump in this thing, brake lines, brake master cylinder, brake booster, intake gasket, 4-barrel intake, new carburetor. We put some rad hoses in it, belts, and a really sweet NHRA fuel tank. But it runs, it stops, and the radio almost works. Now we're gonna see if it tows a Thunderbird. So far, she's pulling great, as long as it don't fall off. And if it does, I guess we're gonna see how fast the old travel all goes. Speedometer says 80 right now, so that seems to work fine. Got no temp gauge, got no oil pressure, got no fuel gauge. Actually, I do have a fuel gauge. It's called, look, we're about half a tank. I think I got a motor mount out. And I can tell because when I hit the throttle, the shifter moves about 7 inches. But we don't need both of them. That's why they make 2. Should talk about my goals today. It was to drive halfway, but that's not going to happen. So the goal now is to go 121 miles to get Onion Volcano, which is what my boys call hibachi. But then I'll be happy. If we can make it that far, it'll be dark. Get some good hibachi, see how many miles we can put down tomorrow. I ain't got tail lips or lamps, turn signals, and none of that stuff, so. Oh, something is terribly amiss. Yeah, let's pull off here. I got a lot of smoke in the cab. Yeah, it smells like transmission fluid or something. Oh, I'm really smoking. It's still running. Well, we've pulled over to the side of the road. This thing is smoking like crazy all of a sudden, right when we got to about 55. This is not good. So that's gonna do for this episode of Roadworthy Rescues. A guy managed to get this old Travelall back on the road, kind of-ish. Only made it about 100 miles, and now I've got, well, it looks like transmission oil puking everywhere. But stay tuned for part 2 to see if I can haul this old T-Bird back to Tennessee and do some work on it.